You want to throw faster and farther? Then get a grip. Spin it. Before we get started, y'all, just make sure you go over and solicit Salty Unicorn Disc Golf Apparel. Ryan is doing amazing things over there. I have a link in the description below. I'll bring it to the top. It gives you 15% off your order, and he's doing a fantastic sale right now. I think he's putting them on sale for $25 a piece. These things are amazing, and they're comfortable, and they look spectacular, and he does personalized logos on them for you. Just a fantastic guy, fantastic company. So head on over to Salty Unicorn and get you some jerseys. Hey DMD family, welcome back to the channel. Bunky here and in the garage again today. Nor'easter heading up the coast and a lot of wind and a lot of rain, but I want to get this video out, so we came inside. So you can ignore all the stuff back here. I would clean it up, but I don't care. Today we're going to talk about grip. I believe that in disc golf, grip is grossly underappreciated. It is the foundation for speed and spin and nose angle. If you have bad grip, speed, spin, and nose angle are going to be affected. They're going to be hurt. You need to have a good grip in order to fully maximize those three areas of your throw. So I don't think we spend enough time practicing it. I don't think we spend enough time making sure it's proper and accurate and precise. So today's video, we're gonna go over grip. We're gonna go over how to grip, we're gonna go over where to grip, and we're gonna go over how hard to grip. So let's get to it. All right, first is how to grip. Now there's so many different varying methods, and I'm not gonna say that mine is the best. I use old school overthrow grip, where I put the disc in the center of the back of my hand and then run it through the first and middle finger, the index and middle finger of my hand, and do sort of the Bonapan grip. Is that the Bonapan? Right? And then wrap my finger underneath, right? So it gives me, and I do fingertips. I do fingertips, not finger pads. I know there's discussion about that as well. And then I lay my thumb here on the rim. Now, if you've been watching my round videos, and if you're not, what are you doing? You'll notice that in my round videos, my thumb will slide back. I've just started noticing that. When I practice, my thumb is up here. When I throw, like on a course, my thumb is back here. So I need to fix that. But anyway, that's my grip. And notice when I hold my hand out, right, the disc is level to nose down depending on how much thumb pressure I put on, right? That's what we want in the how to grip. We want the disc at extension to be oriented at least flat to nose down, right? And to do that, your disc needs to be anywhere from the middle of your hand up to your thumb and running in this direction, right? So I put it in the middle of my hand, right? Which gives me pretty nose down. If I move it up toward my thumb, more nose down, right? It's a tougher grip and it feels awkward, but whatever feels right to you, anywhere in this area from the middle of your hand up for the rear of the disc will give you nose down. The problem comes when we start tailing the disc down to the meat of our hand down by our pinky, right? Because that is gonna start giving us nose up, right? So how we hold our disc sets the tone for nose angle. Will it fix nose angle? No, don't get me wrong. It's not gonna fix nose angle. It's going to set the tone. It's gonna set the foundation, right? Any house that has a poor foundation is not gonna last long. You need to have a good foundation. So grip is the foundation for nose angle. It could possibly fix it, but typically it's not going to fix it, but you're not going to be able to fix it if you have bad grip habits, right? So get the how to grip it down first and make sure that nose is flat to down. All right, second, where to grip. Now this comes in two parts, because if you've watched Blitz, if you've watched Nick Crush, if you've watched Stepwise, they all talk about, and actually I think Overthrow does it as well, they all talk about the back-loaded grip, right? There are some others that do it, and if I missed you and you do the back-loaded grip on YouTube, I'm sorry, and I know there's a bunch of them that do the back-loaded grip. I subscribe to the back-loaded grip. Back-loaded grip tends to allow us to be more nose down. Nick Crush has a great nose down grip related video. If I can find it, I'll link it up top and put it in the description below. The warning that I have about that, because I've used it on a couple of my athletes, the warning that I have about that is the grip of the forefinger and thumb. I think we can't overlook that, right? Just because that's where spin, like your disc, the last point of contact with your disc is these two fingers, right? And that helps generate spin, right? That pinch point helps to generate your spin. So if you're not applying pressure in your thumb and your forefinger, your spin is going to hurt. I start with grip training with my athletes with a two-finger drill. And I'll just interlace the drills in with where I'm talking about stuff. The strength of the grip between your forefinger and your thumb is just enough strength to be able to throw the disc at a moderate speed with just two fingers. So I get my grip, I drop my back three fingers and just have my forefinger and my thumb, right? And moderate speed, throw the disc, right? That's how much pressure I need on my forefinger and my thumb when I throw my disc with my full grip, right? And I'll just have my athletes just do a stack or two of these just to get the feeling of what the pressure needs to be between these two fingers in order to get the pinch point spin that you need in order to throw a disc, right? So that's the pressure on the front. The majority of the pressure needs to be on the back fingers. Now, I have an athlete that doesn't do pinky, so he just does the three fingers. So most of his pressure is here, right? If you use the pinky, it's distributed between the back three, right? And then again, don't forget about the pincher pressure, but the back three is the focus here, okay? That's the where to grip, where to apply our pressure in our grip, right? Front two fingers, just enough to get that pressure point, that spin point, and then the rest of it goes to the back. And that back-loaded grip really, if I squeeze it, that back-loaded grip really promotes nose down angle. So that's where to apply the pressure in our grip. Just enough in the front for the pinch point, and then the rest of it, the focus is the back three fingers. All right, lastly, let's talk about how hard to grip. And this is really where the rubber meets the road with grip. Talked to Josh about this in the past, and his comment to me, and I'm gonna give him credit for this is not me, this is Josh. You can throw with 400 feet of power, but if your grip isn't strong enough, you're not gonna throw 400 feet. In order for you to get maximum distance potential with your throw, you need to be gripping the disc the whole way through your throw. The disc needs to be coming out of your hand. You don't need to be letting go of the disc. Now, there is a fine line. There is a fine line. I'm gonna say there's a fine line in gripping hard enough and gripping too hard. We don't want to tense the arm with our grip. We want, like I'm gripping pretty strong. I want my grip strong, but my arm loose, okay? If you're gripping so hard that you're tensing your entire arm, that's too hard. But we need to make sure that this disc is ripping out of our hand and not us letting go or even loosening our grip. We want to set our grip and then keep it. Now I know there's a lot of people that apply the keep it loose and then grip as you're pulling through. If you can do that, fine. I have a problem with that in timing myself, and I don't coach that because I just feel that that introduces more complexity to the throw than is necessary. For advanced players where you have that kind of control, sure. Go ahead, if it works for you, awesome. But for me, I like to set it and forget it with my grip, get my grip strength, right? Keep my arm loose, keep my grip strong, and then keep the same grip from beginning to end. This disc needs to be ripping out of my hand. You guys hear the snap, right? Everybody's like, you gotta get snap, 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 snap. What is the snap? The snap is your fingers hitting against your hand as the disc comes out, right? You hear that? That's the snap. Now, a lot of things play into snap. One thing is finger length, right? Some people have the perfect finger length that when that disc rips out, the fingers hit that little hollow point in your hand, and it echoes. Like Hunter is great at snap. His fingers, like he's good for him, he throws well, I'm not gonna take anything away from Hunter, but I guarantee his fingers are the perfect length to hit that hollow spot in his hand that magnifies the echo, the snap echo. So some people could throw perfectly and not get loud snap because their fingers are short. That's just the way it is. But snap is your fingers snapping closed onto your hand after the disc comes out, right? And we need to be gripping the disc strong enough to make our fingers smack against the back of our hand when this disc rips out of our hand. Drill for this, and Josh had this drill a long time ago on his channel. I know it caused some controversy, people talking about hurting your elbow. I've never had this drill hurt my elbow. I've given it to a couple of my athletes now, and they haven't talked about anything hurting their elbow. I'm gonna put that precursor out there. Be careful with this drill. You do not want to throw like as hard as you can. You want to throw hard, but you don't want to like throw as hard as you can. And make sure that you're following through with your arm as well to give that elbow some leave. So it's really easy. You get into your grip, right? Grip it pretty strong. Right? Again, you don't want to over grip it, but you want to grip it pretty strong. Now, for this drill, make sure the majority of the net is behind you, right? Right now, I'm facing this front edge of my net, right? But if you do this drill right, it's going to come out, and I'm going to swing this back around a little bit more. It's going to come out and fly back, okay? Because you're going to go from here to here and try not to let the disc go. Right? So it looks like this, right? And that disc is now, I was aiming up here, right? And that disc is back in the mouth of my net, right? So it's really easy to do from here to there. And again, it flew back into the mouth where I was pointing for up here. And this is what you want your hand to look like after you're done throwing, right? If I was watching a couple of the slow-mos of my students, you see a lot of, when the disc comes out, you see a lot of this. You see a gap in there. You should not. You should see this, right? At the very least, right, maybe just the tops of your fingertips, the disc has to come out, so it's going to pull your fingers a little bit. But when you're done, you want this, right? So again, it's from here to there, right? And then once you have that, you can speed it up a little bit, right? And just make sure, and you'll feel it, like these three fingers burn after just those, 3 or 4 throws. You will feel it in your fingertips. You'll feel it mostly in your index fingertip because, again, that's the last point of contact between your hand and the disc. But this is what we want to practice. We want to practice letting the disc rip out of our hands, right? And keeping a closed fist. Now, I know you'll see somebody like Ricky is famous for this, throwing the disc, and then in his follow through, you'll see his hand open wide up. But at release, his hand is not open. He opens it as he goes. I would advise you to not get into that habit unless you're really solid in your grip, okay? Because once you start getting into that, the timing of that, there's a tendency to start doing that earlier and earlier, and then you'll get to the point where you're opening it too soon. So while you're working on your grip, I would advise to never open your hand up, just to keep it closed the whole way. So there you have it. That's it. Probably a little longer than I wanted it, but again, grip is very important, and I wanted to cover the 3 aspects of it. I hope this helped you out. I hope you learned something. I hope you can use it. Tell me how you're incorporating it in your practice. And as always, thank you for your support and for watching the channel. It means a lot to me. And until next time, enjoy the journey. Here's your verse of the day.